Hi, I'm Vigdor-Hess, and we're going to make a recipe today from my book Sweetness Without Sugar. We're going to make the nut balls, which are on page 136. They are inspired to put together a lot of different ingredients to have healthy fat and healthy protein all mixed together with a little bit of a sweet treat. So they're a great to-go item. They're great for a lunchbox. They're great for packing on a hike. They're really just very versatile, and kids love them. And you can make them in a lot of different ways. I have lots of variations in the book. The first ingredient is a half a cup of ground nuts. So you can choose whatever kind of nut you like. This is an almond, and I actually used the store-bought almond flour for this. This is another way, a simple tip to keep it simple for yourself if you're busy and you don't have a dry blade or you don't want to get involved in mixing up some ground nuts. You can purchase it that way. If you are nut sensitive, you can also use a seed. So you can use a sunflower seed kind of mixed up together into a flour consistency like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this in the bowl, and then I'm going to add a half a cup of shredded coconut. I buy the finely prepared shredded coconut, so it looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and put that in, and then I add a protein powder. Now there's lots of different protein powders you can use. I'm working with a hemp protein mixture, and this is the hemp protein. Now the hemp protein can tend to make it taste a little bit more green, a little bit stronger flavor. So if you use a protein powder in your family that you already have and people enjoy, please just continue to use that and work with that one and see how it tastes. When I'm not using the hemp protein, I'll use usually a rice protein. I like a Sun Warrior protein, which is a raw rice protein that is sweetened with stevia. And I also like there's a Nutribiotic rice protein. There's a lot of different brands that are also available now that you can try and that impart a nice flavor. So most of them are sweetened. The ones I look for, which are in the resource section of my book as well, I list a lot of different protein powders that I've looked into and researched that have nice flavor to be used for the smoothies in the recipe or for things like this as quick grab and go type snacks as well. So I'm just working with this one today. I'm going to go ahead and put this in as well. And then the next ingredient, what I did was I split it in two. So it's a half a cup of a nut or seed butter. And to make this taste a little bit more authentically like halva, I used a quarter cup of tahini, which is a sesame seed paste, and then a quarter cup of almond butter. So I'm just going to pour each of these in. I like to mix and match because it just adds more flavors. If you know that for you only like one, then you can just continue to just use the one that you like. This just is a way to offer more variety and give you more variations that you can use to just make it more fun. And if it's not fun for you and that creates more stress for you, then just keep it simple, even more simple. So those both are in there. And now I'm going to add a little bit of coconut milk. And I like this brand. Again, for some of these, this is also non-GMO certified and verified, so I do like using that. I buy the full fat so that we can get that extra fat, the healthy fat, for both the nourishing perspective and also the flavor for the recipe. And I also look for the non-GMO ingredients for both the tahini and the almond butter as well. So I'm just going to measure a quarter cup here of the coconut milk and go ahead and put this in. So there's two more ingredients. One is a dried blueberries or a dried fruit. Now I usually will use a dried blueberry that are unsweetened and usually organic or wild found. I'm going to go ahead and put these in. So the last ingredient I'm going to add is a brown rice syrup. So this will sweeten it. The brand that I'm using is by Lundberg Farms. It's an organic one. It's also non-GMO certified. And it'll impart extra sweetness to the mixture. And you also have the dried berries in there as well. So some people like less sweet, some people like more. And I put a range in the recipe so that you can choose what works best for you. So I know that I have 6 tablespoons in here already. And so I'm going to add about half of that and just see how we do with that flavor. I want this to be enjoyed by people who are used to having the refined sugars, the really sweet refined sugars, and for people who have already been transitioning somewhat from the refined sugars. So, and everyone's palate is different, and this is what the consistency is. So you want it to be able to be easy to form into balls. We can roll one up, and you just take about this amount in your hand, and you really, I mean, I just am pressing it, I'm not even rolling it, but you can go ahead and roll it between your hands. It's making it a little bit greasy in my hands, but the dough is not even really sticking to me that much. And it's nice to get some of the dried berries in each one of them, or at least a little bite, so it's like having a little extra treat texture thing in each bite. If you decide in tasting it you want to add more of the sweetener, you can add more of the sweetener, and if the consistency of your balls is not similar to this, you can go ahead and add a little bit more of the dried coconut or the dried almond flour or seed flour that you decided to use in your recipe. And they're nice and gooey and delicious. So enjoy. Delish. Enjoy.